and you assume that that's how they are, this is their nature, this is how they've been since you've met them or whenever. So you're expecting that that's how they are. It's in your face, you're seeing it daily, you're experiencing it daily. And so how do you navigate through that? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Irresistible and I'm a manifestation and soul alignment coach. My channel is geared towards helping you become your highest potential so that you can create and live the extraordinary life that is your birthright. In today's video, I'll be talking about how to live in the end when you are already with someone and you need them to change. But before we get started, just a quick reminder that I offer both email and video coaching. So if you need help in manifesting any of your desires or in releasing any of your blocks, you definitely want to check out all my coaching options. They are in the description below. And I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon if you'd like to receive a notification anytime I upload a new video. So today's video is inspired by a comment I received on my channel from one of my subscribers asking how to live in the end when they are already in a relationship with someone and they need that person to change. So I'm going to read out the exact question and I'll move on to respond to that question. Mona, would you please make a video to really clarify living in the end when we are manifesting a completely different version of someone with whom we live? When we are living with someone, it feels difficult because we are interacting with the person all day and we face their habits and behaviors all the time. Okay, so this is a very good question because I've actually worked with several clients who have navigated through working on changing the person they are already with in a relationship, or they're married to that person and they have actually manifested success making that change. So it's 1,000% doable. The key is how do you go about it? So I'm going to go through that question one by one. The first thing you need to do is dealing with the behaviors and actions of that person, because it's in your face, you're seeing it daily, you're experiencing it daily. And so how do you navigate through that? The first and foremost thing you need to do is recognize that you are the one who's expecting that person to show up that way. So it's pure conscious awareness. Now, I know that as you're living with someone, sometimes you can forget that and you need something much more practical in dealing with that. But always go back and remind yourself that you are the source of their behavior, not the other way around. You believe that they are going to behave in a certain way and you assume that that's how they are, this is their nature, this is how they've been since you've met them or whenever. So you're expecting that that's how they are. So what we want to do is go back, step back, and reclaim our power and remember that you're the one who is assuming that they are this way. Now, how do we put that into practical terms? Because sometimes we need something a little bit more practical, although in my opinion, that conscious awareness is enough on its own, and I've been there and I've experienced it myself. And just going back and remembering that you're the source of it all is enough. But I do understand that sometimes we need a little bit more guidance on how to navigate through that from a practical perspective. And so the second thing you can do is list out everything that you love about that person. All the actions and behaviors that you love, no matter how limited they seem at this point in time, because you're heavily focused on everything you don't like about them. I want you to list out all these things and I want you to just focus on the things about them that you love. This will help get those behaviors to show up more and more in your experience. When you focus on the aspects of them that you absolutely love, you will start seeing more and more of that. And the things you don't love will start to go back into the background. So you're kind of bringing to light everything you love about them. So you can go back and list out everything and just keep affirming for those actions and behaviors that you do love. So here we're not flipping their negative behaviors. We're focusing on what they already have as actions and behaviors and characteristics. So you're focusing on that. That helps them show up from that viewpoint more and more. So it kind of lets the things about them that you don't like take a step back. As you do that and you start seeing more and more of that, you can then start affirming and flipping the aspects of them you don't like. But you kind of want to do that as a third step here. A third step is after you start seeing those actions and behaviors of them that you absolutely love, that are showing up more and more, because everything you focus on grows. So the more you focus on those characteristics or actions and behaviors that you love, the more you will experience that from them. From there, then you can flip and assume that they will show up in the way that you want. So that covers the first aspect of that question. The person also asked how to behave with them. As our expectations and actions depend on how that person is, do we need to change our actions towards them and expectations of them before they actually change in the 3D? The thing with this question is it's not 100% clear what you mean here. If you mean not reacting to their negative behaviors, the answer is absolutely do not react. I know that may seem hard at times, and it's okay if you do react. The key is to hold the vision of them that you want and to ignore anything meanwhile. Now, of course, that does not mean accepting bad behavior, and I spoke about that in another video. I will link it above. Sometimes as you're working on having them change by changing your inner assumptions about them, and of course your assumptions about yourself, it's important that you ignore what is not to your liking, because the more you focus on it and you give attention to it and you react to it, the more you keep it alive. So we want that to disappear. And so what you want to do is ignore, ignore, ignore. And ignore does not mean accept. We are not accepting. We are working on changing that, and that requires us to ignore. So you want to ignore and not react to circumstances. That is very important. So essentially, yes, you are going to act as if they have already changed. So let's say they're acting wrong towards you, they're not being respectful, whatever. And in the end, sometimes you can't withdraw from the relationship. You are with them and you have to deal with it. That is where I say ignore. And what we spoke about earlier, focusing on the aspects of them that we love, will help those undesired aspects of them to stop showing up as much. Because the more you fuel the attention towards what you love about them, the more that will show up. So you will be able to deal with that better when you are working on that part first. So in the end, yes, you must ignore as much as possible and be gentle with yourself. Sometimes you're gonna snap. It's all good. Just bring yourself back into that conscious awareness. Should we start expecting and behaving like they are already different? But that creates trouble in my experience, and I am confused on how to be in the 3D. Please clarify. The answer is yes. For them to change, you must assume that they are different. But sometimes as that shift is happening, you want to milk the aspects of them that you love so that shows up much more. And then the aspects of them that you don't like start to fade away. And then you can create the change in them, because the more they're showing up in the actions and behaviors that you do love about them, which you have already seen of them, the more you'll be able to change the aspects of them that you don't like, because you're changing your assumptions of them. So the key is conscious awareness. Always remember you're molding this person, and they can shift 180 degrees just with that conscious awareness. But I know that that is not very practical, so we go into the more practical aspects, where we focus on the aspects of them that already exist that we love. And we focus on these no matter how few in number these positive characteristics, actions, and behaviors are. We focus on that so that that shows up more and more. As you do that, you'll then be able to change the aspects of them that you don't like by assuming that that's who they are. You can affirm for that they are this way, they show up this way. Even if they've never shown that to you, they will start showing it to you. And it's easier for you to assume that when you're seeing the aspects of them that you love. The fourth thing is you must ignore everything in the 3D meanwhile that you don't like about them. You ignore, and ignoring does not mean accepting. Beware of your physical mind saying that you are accepting something. You're not accepting it. Remind your physical mind that circumstances don't matter. And I shared a tool that Bashar talks about. I will link it above. In circumstances don't matter tool. If you do that, your physical mind will get on board with this. But your physical mind is saying you're not reacting to their behaviors. This is not right. This is your physical mind acting up and not getting what it is that you are doing. You are not accepting, you're changing. This does not mean accepting. You're ignoring in order to change. That is also very important, so don't forget that. I hope this addresses your question. It's a very good question, very important. But in the end, it's about really always being in that conscious awareness and understanding that you are creating it all. And they are always reflecting what you're assuming about them. Sometimes you're like jumping to that conclusion that they would act a certain way because you expect that. That's how we assume things. But in the end, there's always that opportunity to change them 180 degrees. They're 1,000% someone brand new, and you can create that change. Never forget that. I hope you liked this video. If you did, then please like, comment, and share. And I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.